What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Tech Stories. And today on the show, I have with me Khondwani, a software engineer based in Sandton, South Africa. Welcome to the show, Khondwani. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Charles?
I'm doing good. Happy Easter. It's
We can
ah,
say Happy Easter, yeah, but then we've been busy, so
oh,
not really much of a break for some of us, you know.
oh,
Just
okay, I
like, I
see.
mean, look at you, you're out here doing your podcast today on the Easter
Well,
holiday,
yeah,
resting.
yeah, well, yeah. Well, I consider it the Lord's work, so I'm still doing God's work, you know? You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. I was curious though, like I don't know if in SA, is there like a culture around Easter? Is there like a special celebration? Is there like a sort of some sort of like festivity around, Easter? What?
So people do usually do that.
Oh,
From
okay.
Christian side, yes, people do that. But I'm
Oh,
from a denomination called the SDA, so
oh, okay.
Easter is basically just a break for us,
Hmm. Hmm.
So
I see.
basically,
I see. Oh, okay. Well, once again, welcome, man, and I'm so excited to talk to you about a lot of things. Well, first, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, like, where do you work? What do you do as a software engineer? And, any other thing you'd like to share with the audience.
it's always something about myself, huh?
Mm.
Uh, well, I feel like I'm being interviewed, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's practice. So something about myself. Well, I'm originally from Zambia.
Oh, okay.
Right there. So grew up there, did my high school there. Then I came
Hmm.
to South Africa to do varsity. All right.
Hmm.
Then after varsity, then went straight into the workforce here in South Africa.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's basically my background, where I'm from. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. What's that varsity? What's that? Is that like a program or like what's that?
So varsity in well, it's like a short term for university. So
Okay.
it's
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's kind of like
I see.
lingo. Varsity
Yeah,
is
yeah.
university. Yeah. So it's
Oh,
uni.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I learned something new. Varsity. You guys hear that? Cool. Nice. Is this like a lingo? Is this like a lingo mostly used in Southern Africa, like Zambia, Zimbabwe or South Africa, or because this is the first time I'm hearing
Well, I don't know. Hey, I would say
that.
South Africans use it a lot. Um,
Oh, okay.
in um, Back in Zambia, I don't know if they use varsity a lot, but
Hmm.
I'm sure they use
Hmm.
varsity. But yeah, it's
Interesting.
just I've been here most of my university years, so
Right, right, right,
so I
right.
wouldn't
No,
know if part of Southern Africa will keep on using the whole varsity thing.
okay, okay. That's interesting. And one of the things one of the things that I'm going to enjoy about doing this, or I enjoy about doing this podcast, talking to people from various African nations is also not just about the tech side of things, but it's also interesting to know about other African cultures as well, like
Yeah.
and so it's something that I've always interested me and that's why I'm super excited about this as well. But hey, yeah. Well, okay, that's good to know. Zambia. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So why software engineering? Why did you choose this field, this line of work? Is there a story behind this? Yeah.
There's no story behind it, to be honest. I first
Oh,
wanted to be a soccer player. That's one of the few.
I
Then
see.
jumped onto wanted to be an actor. You know, as a kid,
Mm-hmm,
you want to be everything basically. But then
mm-hmm.
I then fell in love with biology and computers. So I
Oh,
wanted to do something called biomedical engineering. But
okay.
then South Africa did not offer that at undergrad level. Well, only one,
Mm,
but I didn't consider that university. So
mm-hmm.
the only route for me to go through to biomedical engineering was to take computer science.
Wow.
So I did computer science for 4 years, undergrad, and then my honors. And then after that, I decided, okay, should I go straight into my master's in
Mm-hmm,
biomedical engineering, or
mm-hmm,
should I first go into the workforce? So I was like, before I go into my master's, let me find something interesting in the workforce, and maybe I
Hmm.
can utilize that in my master's. So
Hmm.
that's how I found myself as a software engineer. And
So,
ever
yeah.
since,
So, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, so ever since I started, I think first year was a tough road. I can't lie.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second year till I got to my third year, that's when I started loving software engineering. To be honest,
Mm.
first year, second year was like, why are you forcing me to do these things, guys? Like, no. And then after the third year, you understand, like, this is what they were telling me to do. This is why they were telling me to do this. So I fell in love with software engineering after that. But my dreams for still doing biomedical engineering are not down the
Mhm.
drain. So we'll eventually get there.
Yeah, so it's like a pathway to biomedical engineering. That's
Yeah.
interesting. But I mean, with all the love and interest now you have now for software engineering, I mean, is it going to be one of those things where it's going to be a tough choice for you when you eventually want to go back into biomedical engineering, or do you think it's going to be an easy decision, you know?
Um, Not really, because
Hmm.
I've been trying to decide on whether my master's should be in computer science or should
Right.
be biomedical engineering. But
Hmm.
I'm liking the more medical side of life.
Mm.
So biomedical engineering allows you to utilize your computer knowledge in the
Mhm.
biology field.
Mm.
So you can build prosthetic legs, arms, stuff like that, you know.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
adding that coding or software engineering side of it will just make the medical field better, extra, you know. I mean, in Africa, our medical, um, I don't know, medical standards are not
Mhm.
that top. And the services they provide us for certain things
Mhm.
is just not as wow as you would get it from the States, the
The
UK,
Western
you
world,
know,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the Western world. So,
Mhm.
me going into that direction of biomedical engineering, computer science, and biology to try and up our game in the medical field
Mhm.
is something I have in one of my future plans.
Yeah, that's good. You know,
Yeah.
that's really good, you know, like using, basically, trying to use one thing to influence the other. That's really, really, really good, you know. Yeah, and it's creativity too at its core, I feel, like how do you, when you're in the medical field, how do you use this knowledge you've had from this other field to, like incorporate that and kind of make it something very beautiful at the end, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's fantastic. And I guess, like from you talking about your initial decision was to do biochem and you're still kind of on track to do that or biomedical rather, and you're still kind of on track to do that. Is there, I don't know if there is any sort of like a social pressure or, kind of parental pressure when it comes to deciding what field of study you want to go into, maybe from parents, is it a thing where, like parents are often like swaying their kids to do engineering or stuff like that? Or like let's say chemical engineering or civil engineering or be in the medical field or something is there a sense of that in and around Zambia or like in South Africa or um
Well, I'm going to speak from Zambia, not per
oh,
se
okay.
South Africa. I'm not South
Hmm.
African.
Hmm. Hmm.
So my parents are both doctors.
Hmm.
So my older brother did electrical engineering. It was
Hmm.
by his own choice. Then I decided to do computer science to the
Yeah.
roots of taking biomedical engineering, my
Hmm.
own choice as well. So it's not per se that our parents kind of influenced us, but
Hmm.
they just put us on the path that they thought, hey, this is a path you can go to.
Hmm.
And from there, you can make your own decisions as to what you want to do. You know,
Okay.
all they told us was, look, these are the things that you have.
Hmm.
We've given you the basis. Um, what you're going to study, is it going to help you in the future? Are you going to be visible in the future? You know,
Hmm.
so we then decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do, and that was it.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
it is becoming more like that in this day and age,
Right.
especially
Mm.
I would say back at home, parents not really
Hmm.
forcing the kids to do what they
Hmm.
wanted to do when they were still young. They
Right,
don't want
right, exactly.
to live their dream through their kids. More or less, they're now
Right.
their kids live their dream. So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
And
I really want.
go ahead.
Yeah, now I'm saying I really wanted to be a soccer player, and my mom was like, "Okay, if you want to do that, then you can go ahead and do sports science. As
Hmm.
long as you get a degree, then you can continue playing soccer." But then I
That's
looked at it, I'm like,
that's good.
no, swayed away, and I went to computer science.
Yeah, that's good. The reason I brought that question up in the first place was even because, me coming originally being from Nigeria, I know that there is always that, there is that sort of it's something that our parents, used to do, or I don't know if it still exists till this day, but you tend to have parents who want to sway their kids into things that they qualify as, like
Hmm.
the best professions, and to a lot of Nigerians, especially those in my parent generation, it's, like it's medicine, it's engineering. And when I say engineering, I'm not talking about software engineering, it's like civil engineering, mechanical engineering. And so like software engineering, I feel like it's still relatively kind of fairly new in back home. And so I wanted to hear, another person's perspective. If like when they said to their parent, "Hey, I want to do software engineer," and they were like, "What is that?" Like what? uh, yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. But yeah, yeah, I think it's all good. Yeah, cool. That's interesting. Cool, cool, cool. All right then. So I guess the next question I have for you, like, it's like, how did you get your first professional gig in, like in tech, and this includes like internships and stuff. You can tell us like how you stood out and, to get that first thing, because I think a lot of people are always, that are aspiring to get into this field. This is something that they're curious to know. Some of them don't really know, how to go about it. So over to you. How did you do that? What
So
magic did you do?
it wasn't magic. Uh, First of all, there wasn't magic at all. Um, it's it's first of all, it's the Lord. That's one
Hmm.
thing. It's the Lord that I cannot
Hmm.
deny. And then
Hmm.
second of all, how that happened was a friend of mine approached me to help him build his idea, right, which is Letterbox, right?
Okay.
And he told me, he literally asked me, so he was like, "Have you ever built any Apple um, apps, iOS apps?" And I'm like, if I say no, he might turn me away. So I'm like, yeah, I
Hmm.
have. And he was like, okay, cool. I've got this idea. I need an iOS dev. So if you can help, help us build this idea that we have, I mean, we could go a long way. I'm like, cool, no problem. Right after that call, I literally picked up a Swift development program on the Apple website. And I
Hmm.
went through the example programming codes, etc., etc.,
Hmm.
and built my first app there. And I was like, okay, cool. This is not bad. This is not bad. And then started working on Letterbox, and it took me about 3 months to finish building what they required me to build. And
Hmm.
from there on, I kind of fell in love with iOS mobile development,
Okay.
and I would say it was fun. It was really fun. I mean,
Wow.
we won a
I
few
can
prizes
imagine.
here and there as
Oh
Letterbox.
wow.
Um, Went to a few competitions. Yeah, we lost some, but it was okay. Learning through the
Hmm.
process, and we
Right.
literally thought
Right.
this is a product that will make us money.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
it will make us money. I would sacrifice studying time just to build
Hmm.
this product, make it better. It was the time when applications like WhatsApp decided to add stories to their application,
As one of
and
their features, yeah. Yeah.
as one of the features, yeah. And we were
Hmm.
like, "Guys, the guy who invited me was like, I think we can also add this to our feature." That's before LinkedIn, Instagram,
Right.
and the decide to add stories to the applications. And like, yeah, let's go ahead, let's try it. And it was fun. It was a good experience. But then it didn't boom as we expected it to boom. We don't regret doing it. It gave us a lot of retrospection, as in how we go about doing things, and we learned a lot. And then a few years down the line, Letterbox is what actually got us our first professional gig as a group.
Wow.
So because of the quality that we put into Letterbox, somebody ended up liking it, and we're like, guys, I have this idea and I can pay for it. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. The fact that you can pay for it, we're fine with that. So we got our first professional gig, and that's the whole medical RCS. It's regarding to doctors and them claiming from medical aids and stuff like that. So that was my first professional gig, I would like to say.
So letterbox and you know I get it. Of course, it was like a thing you guys built, you know, from you know, like out of passion and you know interest in the idea and all of that. And I guess, you know, from building that, you guys were able to put that, or you were able to put that on your CV, and then that kind of, you know, maybe attracted you to a lot of other, you know, like companies, you know, in terms of for professional work and stuff like that. So was that your very first like, let's say, um, um, professional project, if I will, if I could call it that way?
Letterbox was treated as a professional project, so I'd like to say Medical RCS, the doctor's application, was my second professional project. Like I say, because we publish these things to the app store. So
right.
I mean, you have to pay that money for you to publish it to the app store. So
yeah.
And
yeah.
So it's two of the products that I've done so far. I'm currently working on a third one right now, but yeah.
Oh wow. That's interesting. And so I see also that you, like, I know that you currently work at you know, like somewhere, you know,
Synthesis.
Where? What's the name?
Synthesis.
Yeah. How did you get to that? You know, how was it, you know, having Letterbox on your CV, or like other side projects? You know, I know Letterbox is not a side project, but you know, was it having that on your CV and having all of this special interest projects you had on your CV, and then that propelled you and attracted you, you know, to a lot of these other companies that you work like full time and all of that? Was that the case?
No. It wasn't the case. So the company I work for does not do mobile development. They're more into the fintech business. So they deal with financial services technology. And how I landed that gig, I would like to say, yet again, the Lord, number one. Number two, actually, there's no number two. It was the Lord, because I went through so many rejections while applying for a job. It was crazy. Being foreign international in South Africa, applying for a job, if you don't have the documents yet, is very difficult. I went through like 12 to 14 rejections before I landed Synthesis. So that's a lot of rejections, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all been there, so yeah, it's nothing new.
I would like to say it was my CV that got me through the door, but then everything else was just the Lord. For me to land that, it was basically the Lord.
Yeah, right. But that's, I guess, also, you know, like it's important to point out that, you know, you had things on your CV, right? You didn't just submit an empty CV, right? You know, like you had you know, like you had Letterbox, which you did, you know, as a passion project, and you did professionally for someone, and you know, that was on your CV. At least that gave you like an advantage, right? In many ways, you know. At least, you know, it's one of those things where it's always when an employer sees, like a person's CV, they see what they've done on the side, even if they've never had like any other professional job, but they see things they've worked on the side, whether for clients or whether as a personal project, it piques their interest, right? It piques their
Yeah.
interest. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so yeah, it's important for people to I guess, a lesson from this whole thing is that it's good to have side projects or work on things, just to show your passion for the game or show your passion for the field,
Yeah.
and it's something that can attract employers to you. Okay, that's interesting. Cool, cool, cool. I know you talked about how you applied and all of that. Are there like, ways to go about finding, other ways that other than traditional applying for jobs online and stuff like that? Are there other ways, to go about, getting engineering roles in SA, or that you know of or you're aware of? Is there like a program or is there like anything you know about, other than, traditional, apply on job sites and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
So one thing I've learned is you can have your job sites that you can apply on, and then you also have the
Okay.
company's site that you can apply on. And then there's also
Okay.
LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is one powerful tool. All you have to
Hmm.
do is find the HR of that company
Okay.
and directly hammer that HR.
Mm,
Other ones is going through internship programs, graduate programs.
yeah.
That usually helps you get a step into the door. But yeah,
Hmm.
other than that, there's no other ways I've heard of it, of you trying to
Hmm.
get a job
Hmm.
without actually going through HR or through their websites or through job websites or through LinkedIn. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. So guys, I hope you guys are all paying attention. Internship, side projects, these are all cool stuff, to have that can, drag you in, pull you in. Wow, that's nice. Good to know. Um, My other question, and probably my last question for you, I know because I'm trying to keep it short, is, any advice you have for aspiring engineers, whether in Zambia or in and around Africa, just general tips and advice you have for aspiring people who are aspiring to come into this field. They see Khondwani and they're like, I want to be like that, So, any tips?
Be like me. No, be better than me. um,
Wow, that's good. That's good.
um, Advice from my end would be never be afraid to learn. That's one
Mm,
thing a friend of mine actually told me is never be afraid to learn. If, for instance, you're applying for a job and they tell you no, you have to have at least 3 years experience underneath your belt, apply for that job,
mhm,
get that job, and learn in the job.
mm,
Don't worry about, hey, no, 3 years experience. That is all total nonsense. Everybody learns on the job. It's just the mindset
right.
that you have to have is basically if you're given something that's challenging you, try and figure out how you can sort this problem. And that's all you and trying to learn. If you're never afraid to learn, um, nothing will stop you, really, to be honest. I mean, even now, I'm not sticking just to iOS development. I am now trying to teach
Right.
myself Flutter. And in the process, I am building another application in Flutter for a family friend. And I have never done
Mm,
Flutter before in my entire life. But I am
right.
open to learning. Once you're open to learning and you have that open mindset of saying, I am going to learn
Hmm.
this, you will really get far.
Hmm. Cool.
That's mostly what people are looking for people that are open to learning. I mean, I went into a company that's doing fintech when I am more
Hmm.
specialized in mobile development. And
Mm,
every day on the job, I've been learning something new, and it's like, wow,
hmm.
okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
main point is never be afraid to learn. And then second point, actually, let me swap the two. Put the Lord first. For those of you who are
Hmm.
Christian, put the Lord first, and then second, never be afraid to learn. So have an open mind to learn. So that's that's basically my take in of how I got this far.
Wow, wow, wow. So, guys, I hope you guys have heard that. Two things. Put the Lord first for those who are Christians. and never be afraid to learn. Well, I guess that totally sums up the whole podcast for today, actually. Well, Konwani, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Is first of all, before you go, is there any other thing you want to share with the audience in terms of personal things you're doing? Maybe your Instagram handle, any ads you want to feel free, share anything you want to share with people before you take off.
Well, not yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I like
I
that.
mean,
Okay. All right. Cool.
whenever we have another podcast, Charles, then most probably. Then most probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Cool. That's his way of telling me I'd like to be back on this podcast. Okay, that's good. Noted. All right. All right. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning into this podcast, this episode of Tech Stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, I remain your host. Thank you. Bye, Konwani.
Bye bye.